In recent times, I'm not going to lie, things have been tough. We started a year with threats of a global war. The Daytona 500 will forever be remembered for things aside from the race itself. People have been sick, people have died, people have lost their jobs, and now our country teeters on the brink of chaos over issues that honestly have no reason to still exist today. We as race fans really want to be at the track. I feel like sports would be a great way for people to come together, but we can't right now. It was rumored that fans would soon be able to attend races again, starting with the July 4th Indianapolis NASCAR IndyCar doubleheader, but as some rumors can be, this was just a lie. I was so bummed when I heard the news, but I get it. It's just been so long since I got to go and spend time with some of my best friends, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to how I feel too. That weekend especially would have been such a great first weekend to be back, being such a historic event at a historic venue. I can only imagine what kind of artwork that the subject of this video would have been able to produce. Now I could keep going on and write a sad video on how much I miss going to races, but at least I still got to go to one this year, and we still get to watch it on television. Instead, I want to write a story of positivity. A story that makes you feel good. I think that's something that the subject of this video would do with his art today if he was still around. And for me, this is my art, telling stories of NASCAR on YouTube. And much like him, I hope that one day people will remember me as a creative fan with a heart, passion, and love for the sport and the people in it. Last week, I found out some news that still has me excited for next year, and that's the return of racing at Nashville Super Speedway. And I believe the subject for today's video would be excited too, as Sam Bass famously took the time to work with Gibson Guitars to individually paint an entirely unique guitar for each race and each series, and they were one of the most unique trophies in all of NASCAR. But this was not all he was known for. Chances are, anything in NASCAR from the 1980s into the 2010s that was visually appealing and excited you, he probably had a role in that. Sam Bass was one of the nicest souls to ever grace the industry. He was very nice to me when I had seen him at the track when I was younger, and he helped pioneer a pathway to many aspiring artists to showcase their talents, including my good friend Harris Liu. Harris grew up looking up to Sam Bass and his work, and today, Harris is one of the many graphic designers working with NASCAR, and some of Harris's work carries a retro theme to it that I can tell was inspired by Bass, and before Bass's death in 2019, the two would become good friends. Lou would not be the only modern artist inspired by the style and legacy of Sam Bass. Scrolling Twitter, I can see signs of Sam's beautiful eye for the sport in the works of Noah Lefty Sweet and Skylar Fox. These guys are young like me, but their passion for the art and attention to detail is seen in every project they do. These guys are the future for NASCAR art, and if you get on Twitter and follow them, you'll get the chance to see them now before they become as well known as Bass was. And the road that he's paved for these artists to shine on today is one he'd be proud of. Like these guys, things did not start off easy. In fact, today's NASCAR artists probably are at a much greater advantage having social media to promote themselves. For Bass, growing up in Virginia, he became a racing fan at a young age, attending races at Southside Speedway in Richmond with his uncles. Sam was a graduate from Virginia Commonwealth University with a fine arts degree, and he married his childhood sweetheart Denise, who he first became friends with in just the 6th grade. Sam Bass didn't always have creative liberties of NASCAR and a hard card. He had to work for everything. And one of the first times he had a big break was in 1981 when he joined a friend at Talladega Superspeedway, in which his goal was to get his Bobby Allison painting autographed. And it wasn't easy, but he eventually convinced a security guard to grant him access to the garage area, where he successfully was able to get the painting signed by not just Allison but the entire crew. While down there, his artwork impressed the teams of Darrell Waltrip and Terry Labonte, and he walked away from Talladega with 2 new commissions to paint for. After that, it just seemed like the career of Sam Bass was off to the races. Pardon the pun. By 1984, he was hired by Charlotte Motor Speedway to design programs for the races, beginning with the World 600, and by 1991, Bass would open up his studio, Sam Bass Illustration and Design, which was located near Turn 1 of Charlotte Motor Speedway. Having established a relationship early on with the team of Bobby Allison, he would later be commissioned by the Allison merchandise team to create a poster of Allison to sell, followed by doing the same for the Miller Brewing Company's other driver, Bobby Hillin Jr. This then led to Bass being requested to design the cars of both Allison and Hillin Jr. in 1988 by Miller Brewing Company, and in the first race driving a car designed by Bass, the bar was set high when Bobby Allison won the 1988 Daytona 500.
And the winner of the 30th annual Great American Race, Bobby Allison. Davey Allison is son in second. Judy Allison ecstatic. What a tremendous family performance.
Look at him, Bobby waving to Davey.
I went down low at 3 and 4, but he was too strong.
Did you hear Davey saying I made a try for him at turn 4, but he was too strong?
Well, those fans that David Hobbs interviewed at the first of the race said, I think it'll be the Alabama gang. Here they are.
The Alabama gang has conquered the Daytona 500 in its 30th running.
I mean, how else can you top that? Your first car you design is already a winner in the biggest race. Bass would go on to paint and design for numerous teams and drivers over the years, including Dale Earnhardt, Tony Stewart, Steve Park, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and perhaps most notably, Jeff Gordon, as Bass was the lead designer for Gordon during his Cup Series career. In fact, Bass would even have credits as a Hollywood designer, as he would design both the cars and the fire suits for Talladega Nights' The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. He also was the logo designer for the minor league baseball team, the Kannapolis Intimidators, and he's also designed specially painted guitars for pre-race shows, including one used by Keith Urban at a pre-race show for the Daytona 500.
This is where Hard Rock Cafe meets NASCAR Cafe.
I love that.
And these are some of the guitars that
awesome.
that I have collected over the years and put together, and I do a lot of pre-race concert guitars. These photos are really special to me. I gave Keith Urban a guitar, awesome. and he liked it so much that he went out and opened up his pre-race concert at Daytona, the first 3 songs, with a guitar he'd owned less than an hour and a half. So that's somebody that's really confident in their playing ability.
For sure.
I could honestly go on and on and on about the numerous projects that Sam has worked on. The truth is, though, it's too many to count. At one point, I even had my own piece of Sam Bass art by having a program for the 2010 Irwin Toys Night Race, which the cover was done by Sam. Today, if you want to own some of Sam's art in your own home, eBay would probably be your best place to look, and sadly there's no longer a place to just go admire his artwork. Well, that is aside from the Sam Bass gallery that the folks of Richard Childress Racing have included into their shop and museum area. They do still have some of the artwork that Sam Bass had produced for the team, that you can see in this short video from the folks at RCR.
Friend and a great guy for so many years, especially for us here at Richard Childress Racing Museum, with a great subject, with Richard Childress Racing, with Dale Earnhardt. So we had these at different locations throughout the museum. Right. We've had them for a long time, and we decided to honor Sam Bass and come in and put most of them, and I say most of them, not all of them, because there's a lot of other Sam Bass material out there, right, that is not on this wall. This is all the room we had, right. But this is special because it gives you an opportunity to come in and look and just see some of the things that Sam Bass did over the many years. Now look, when we talk about Sam Bass, I knew Sam as an artist, but also as a friend and a right. great guy, because throughout the years, going to different events and maybe an autograph deal, and one of the places would be to Food City up in Johnson City, Tennessee, or Knoxville, or wherever they were having their event at. They would pick us up and fly us up, and I would fly for an hour or two one way and an hour or two the other way with Sam, and have some of those personal conversations about his art, about his life. And to be able to come in and put a lot of them up like this, it's really neat to be able to come in and see what not only that Sam Bass was able to do, but kind of the history of Richard Childress Racing, right. or the history of Dale Earnhardt, at least at Richard Childress Racing.
Sam Bass's gallery was once open to the public for viewing until 2017, when he was forced to declare bankruptcy after financial and health issues mounted. Sam Bass did indeed sadly struggle with numerous health issues later in life, including diabetes mellitus type 1 and kidney disease, and in 2014 we nearly lost Bass due to septic shock after suffering a diabetic blood infection. And then on February 16, 2019, at the age of just 57, we did sadly lose Sam Bass due to complications from a kidney disease. As mentioned earlier, Sam Bass's legacy will continue to live on, as he has inspired NASCAR artists of all types and ages, and we should never forget him. In April of 2019, Joey Gase and MBM Motorsports ran a car at the Toyota Owners 400 that paid tribute to the memory of Sam Bass, featuring numerous of Sam's artwork. And in my opinion, I believe that one day many NASCAR artists may find a way into NASCAR's Hall of Fame by way of a Lifetime Achievement Award, but Sam Bass, for what he has accomplished as the first ever officially licensed artist of NASCAR, opening the door for generations to come, is well deserving for a spot in the NASCAR Hall of Fame one day. There will never be another genuinely good soul and beautifully creative mind in the sport of NASCAR as Sam Bass was, but we can all aspire to be like Sam. Thanks for watching today's video. Were you an admirer of Sam Bass's work? Do you own any Sam Bass pieces today? Let the discussion of Sam's memory continue down below in the comments. Have a suggestion for another great background figure of NASCAR who doesn't get talked about as much? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. It really does help my channel grow and continue to bring entertaining content to you guys. And if you will, please share it with your friends. Maybe another person will find interest in this and maybe create some new NASCAR fans. If you're new here or just haven't done so yet, please hit subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss a new video. And you can follow me on Twitter at DannyBTalks. I stay rather active there as well. And until next time, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you back for the next video. And I hope you have a great day. Bye guys.